Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going deep, really deep, into Forex and binary options trading schemes.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, we got some really interesting research on this, real world examples even. We're going to help you figure out how these schemes work
Right.
and most importantly, how to avoid them, become scam proof.
Yeah, it's crazy how they just dangle this idea of easy money,
Yes.
and they just prey on people's dreams. It's really sad.
It is. It is. Okay, so before we get into all the really good stuff, can you remind us, like back to basics, what even is Forex and binary options trading?
Okay, so Forex, it's short for foreign exchange.
Okay.
And basically, it's this huge marketplace where all the different currencies are traded.
So it's like a global thing.
Global, yeah, 24/7 online auction.
Wow.
Where the price of one currency, like the dollar,
Yeah.
fluctuates against another, like the euro or the yen.
Right.
And it's not just individuals trading either. It's governments, central banks, huge corporations, they're all in on it.
So it's high stakes.
High stakes, high liquidity. That means there are tons of buyers and sellers all the time, which makes
Very
it
liquid.
liquid, yes, but it also makes it
Target.
a target, yes, for scammers.
Okay, so Forex is all about like riding the waves of currency values. Is that right?
You got it.
Okay, but what about binary options? How is that different?
Okay, so binary options trading is kind of like betting on like which way the price of something's going to go.
Okay.
So say you think gold will go up in the next hour, you'd buy what they call a call option.
Okay.
If you're right and the price goes up, boom, you win a payout.
You get your money.
But if it goes down, well, you lose.
You lose your investment, so it's,
It's simple, it's fast,
Yeah.
unfortunately very easy to manipulate.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay, so we've got these two trading arenas, Forex and binary options. Both have a huge potential for both winning and losing big, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So where did the scams come in? Like, what are we really talking about when we say Forex and binary options trading schemes?
Well, remember how I said Forex is super liquid?
Yeah, lots of buyers and sellers.
That's part of the problem.
Okay.
Because in a market that's constantly moving like that, it's easy for scammers to blend in, to make their schemes look legit.
Right.
And then there's the psychology of it all. Scammers, they're masters at playing on your emotions.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Especially that desire for quick riches and that fear of missing out.
It's like that panic that you're going to miss,
Exactly, exactly.
They know how to use those buttons to make the scheme seem irresistible, like you have to do it.
Yeah, they make you feel like you're the chosen one, like you have the secret.
Wow. Okay, so scammers are like these chameleons blending into these fast-paced markets.
Yeah.
And then they use like these mind games to get us.
It's all about manipulation, really.
Wow. Okay, so our research outlines 8 of like the most common Forex and binary options trading schemes.
Right.
And we're going to break down each one.
Let's do it.
We're going to start with what they call signal scams. What is that?
So imagine you're trying to, I don't know, navigate through a jungle.
Okay.
And suddenly this guy pops up and says, hey, I've got a map to a hidden treasure.
Okay, so you'd be interested.
Exactly. That's the signal scam. These scammers promise you these exclusive signals.
Okay.
They often do it through these subscription services or like social media groups.
Gotcha.
And they claim to be able to predict how the market's going to move.
So they say they know the future.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
They play on that human desire. Everyone wants to know what's going to happen,
Right.
especially in finance, which can feel so unpredictable.
Totally. Oh, I can totally see how people would fall for that. Who wouldn't want a shortcut to getting rich, right?
Yeah, it's tempting.
But you're saying these signals are actually fake?
Most of the time, yes. The thing is, financial markets are unpredictable.
Yeah.
There are so many factors involved.
Too many to know exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly. So anyone who says they have a crystal ball
Right.
and can consistently predict what's going to happen, they're either lying or delusional.
Or both.
Or both.
Yeah.
But the really sneaky thing is they make it look like they're successful
Okay.
by showing you a few of their wins.
So they cherry pick the data
Yeah.
while hiding all the times they were wrong.
Exactly. They don't want you to see the losses.
So it's all just smoke and mirrors, basically.
Oh, pretty much. They lure you in with these false promises of easy money.
Okay, speaking of promises that sound too good to be true, let's talk about high-pressure sales tactics. Ugh, I already don't like them.
Oh, yeah. Those are classic. They create this sense of urgency, like you have to act now.
Right.
They'll bombard you with calls, emails,
Yeah.
saying this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You're going to miss out.
Like that fear of missing out.
Exactly. Exactly. They might even tell you there are only a few spots left in their super exclusive trading group,
Right. To make it seem more exclusive.
to create that scarcity. make you feel special, like you're in the know.
Wow, I bet they throw in a lot of like jargon, really technical terms
Oh,
just to confuse you.
Yeah, to make it all sound very impressive and complicated.
Yeah, like you need their help.
Exactly. Words like arbitrage and pip and lot size.
Ooh, I don't know what those are.
Exactly. Most people don't. They sound fancy, but they're often misused or explained in a way that hides the true nature of what they're doing.
Yeah, they want to overwhelm you with information so you don't really know what's happening.
It's all about control, making you feel like you need them to navigate this world.
Okay, so it's like they're speaking a secret language that only the chosen few understand. Now, we know shady brokers are a huge problem in finance in general, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So what about broker fraud, specifically in Forex and binary options? What's that about?
Well, the problem is that some brokers operate in these like poorly regulated environments, which basically means they can do whatever they want. They might offer you these amazing bonuses,
Right.
super high leverage, which basically means you can amplify your wins, but also your losses.
Right, right.
They promise you easy access to trades.
Oh.
They make it all sound so simple.
Mhm.
But then once you're in,
What happens?
they start manipulating your trades, hitting you with hidden fees,
Oh, no.
and they might even make it really, really hard for you to withdraw your money.
So it's like they suck you in and then they trap you.
It's like a rigged casino. The house always wins.
Okay, so how do you even tell if a broker is legit or not? Like, how do you know who to trust?
One thing you can look for is, well, transparency. Legit brokers, they're upfront about their fees.
Okay.
They tell you about their regulatory status
Right.
and how they operate.
Right.
If a broker is being vague about this stuff,
Red flag.
big red flag.
Mm.
And of course, always verify their regulatory status.
How do you do that?
You can check if they're registered with a real financial authority.
Right.
Like, you know.
Like the SEC in the US or the FCA in the UK.
Oh, okay. So it's like, checking for their credentials.
Exactly. Do your homework. It's worth it.
Yeah, okay. So it sounds like really doing your research is crucial in this whole world.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's move on to a classic scam.
Oh, yeah.
Ponzi schemes and investment pools. I feel like we hear about these all the time in the news.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
But how do they work in this context of Forex and binary options?
Okay, so they often disguise themselves as like these exclusive investment clubs.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, right. Or like expert managed trading pools.
Okay.
And they promise you crazy high returns with no risk.
That sounds impossible.
It is. Basically, they use the money from new investors to pay off the old investors.
So it's like a
A pyramid.
pyramid scheme.
Exactly. Forex and binary options make a perfect setting for these because they're complicated.
Right.
And most people don't really understand them. So they exploit that lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are some signs that someone might be, getting involved in one of these Ponzi schemes?
Well, be very wary of anything that promises guaranteed returns with no risk.
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, all investments come with some risk, especially in volatile markets like Forex.
Okay.
Another red flag is if they're not transparent about their trading strategy
Okay.
or who's actually managing your money.
Like, are they hiding something?
Could be. If they're being shady or can't prove that they're successful,
Yeah.
run the other way.
So basically, if they're not being upfront, that's a bad sign.
Definitely.
And these schemes, they always collapse eventually, right?
Yeah, 100%. They're built on lies. They're unsustainable
Okay.
because they need a constant flow of new money to keep going.
Right.
As soon as that stops, the whole thing crumbles and everyone loses their money.
So someone's always left holding the bag.
Exactly. It's a reminder that if something sounds too good to be true,
It probably is.
it probably is.
Okay, let's move on to another one that might seem too good to be true. Fake trading platforms. How common are those in Forex and binary options?
Oh, they're very common. And they can be so convincing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. These scammers put a lot of effort into making these websites and apps that look just like the real deal.
Oh, wow.
They'll even use fake testimonials and make up trading data.
So you think you're making money.
Exactly.
It's all fake.
It's a mirage. They
Yeah.
might just take your money outright, or they might manipulate the numbers to make you think you're winning.
To encourage you to invest more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you try to withdraw your profits,
Yeah, what happens?
they come up with excuses, they delay, or they just flat out refuse.
Oh, no.
It's scary how sophisticated they've become.
It is.
That's why it's so important to be careful. One of the best ways to protect yourself is to stick with platforms that are regulated,
Okay, regulation, yeah.
Yeah, like by a real financial authority. It's not, a foolproof guarantee.
Right.
But at least it means someone's keeping an eye on things. A regulated platform's more likely to, have safeguards and stuff to prevent fraud.
Okay, so regulation is it's like the first check, right?
Yeah.
Like a seal of approval or something. But what else can people do to avoid these fake platforms? Like what are some practical steps?
Well, research, research, research.
Okay, so do your homework.
Yeah, before you even think about putting any money in,
Yeah.
look for reviews from, trusted sources.
Yeah.
Check out online forums, see what people are saying, see if there are any complaints.
So reading reviews before you book a hotel or something.
Exactly. You want to get the inside scoop.
Yeah.
And remember, a platform's website, it's basically a marketing tool.
Right, of course.
They're going to highlight the good stuff and hide the bad. So you got to dig deeper, look for unbiased information. Don't be afraid to ask some tough questions.
Okay, now let's talk about something that sounds amazing but also kind of scary. Fake automated trading systems or robots. I've seen ads for those make money while you sleep.
Yeah,
Is that even possible?
I mean, the idea of passive income is like the dream, right?
Right, of course.
But the reality of these robots is often, well, disappointing.
Yeah.
Remember how we talked about how unpredictable the markets are?
Yeah.
That makes it almost impossible to create an algorithm that can just magically pick winners all the time.
Okay, so it's not as easy as they make it sound.
Not at all. Some of these robots are just completely useless.
Okay.
And some are actually designed to make you lose money.
What? So they're working against you?
Yeah, it's messed up.
Wow. Okay, so what should people watch out for with these robots?
If they promise guaranteed profits with no risk, that's a huge red flag.
Okay, right. Because there's always risk.
Always. And if they're being vague about how the robot works,
Yeah.
or they won't show you any proof that it actually works,
Yeah.
that's a bad sign.
Okay, so don't buy a car without looking under the hood.
Exactly. Don't trust blindly.
Okay, changing gears a bit, let's talk about churning or excessive trading fraud. This one sounds kind of complicated. What is that?
This one's sneaky because it often involves brokers who, on the surface, look legit.
Oh, so they're hiding in plain sight?
Yeah, basically, churning is when a broker makes a ton of trades in your account.
Okay.
Not to help you, but to get more commissions for themselves.
So they're putting their own profits ahead of yours?
Yeah, basically.
Wow. So how do you even know if that's happening?
Pay attention to your account activity. If you see a lot of trades that don't make sense,
Right.
or if you're losing money even though you've had some wins,
Yeah.
ask questions. A good broker, they should be looking out for you, not just their own wallet.
Right. So even if you have a broker you think is legit, you still have to be careful.
Absolutely. Always be vigilant.
Okay. Last scheme on our list. Misleading binary options platforms. How are those different from the other scams?
So binary options trading, it's already pretty risky because it's so simple.
Yeah.
It's like up or down, will this happen in the next hour, that kind of thing.
Right.
And these fraudulent platforms, they just take advantage of that.
Okay.
They manipulate the prices, they rig the trades.
So you can't win.
Basically, yeah.
Huh.
They might make it impossible to withdraw your money.
Oh, no.
They might delay your payouts, blame it on technical issues,
Ugh, that sounds like a nightmare.
It is. So what can you do? Well, again, regulation is key.
Okay. Regulation.
I'm sure they're registered with a real financial authority.
Okay.
Look for transparency. Do they tell you how they set their prices? How do withdrawals work? If they're being secretive, that's a bad sign.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And, as always, do your research. Look at reviews from other traders. See if there are any red flags.
Okay. Research, transparency, and regulation.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground today. I mean, it's clear that these Forex and binary options trading schemes, they can be really, really tricky.
Yeah. They're getting more and more sophisticated all the time.
It's a little overwhelming, to be honest.
It is. But the good news is, you can protect yourself.
Okay.
Just being aware of these scams is a huge step.
Okay, so knowledge is power.
Exactly.
So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about what steps people can take to protect themselves. Practical advice. What do you suggest?
Okay, so the first thing, and we've already talked about this a bit,
Yeah.
verify the regulatory status of any broker or platform you're thinking of using.
Okay, regulation, yeah.
Legit brokers should be registered with a real financial authority, like the SEC here in the U.S. or the FCA in the U.K.
Right. Okay, so how do you actually check that? Is that hard to do?
No, it's pretty easy, actually. Most regulatory bodies have websites where you can just search for registered firms.
Okay. You'll need the name of the broker or the platform.
All right, so it's like a background check on a business partner or something.
Exactly. You want to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And along with that, do your research. Don't just hand over your money without knowing anything about them.
So where do you even start with that? Like, are there specific websites or places you recommend?
There are lots of websites that review Forex and binary options brokers. Look for ones that seem independent,
Yeah.
unbiased.
Okay.
Check for complaints, too. If you see a bunch of negative reviews or unresolved issues,
Yeah.
that's a big warning sign.
It's like reading those reviews before you buy something online.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh.
You want to see what other people's experiences have been.
Right. And don't just rely on the reviews on the broker's own website, right?
Definitely not. Those are probably cherry-picked, just the good stuff.
Okay, so look for independent sources. Got it. Now, I think it's really important to talk about, like, understanding the risks involved in Forex and binary options trading, right? It's easy to get caught up in the hype of, like, making a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But you also have to be realistic about, what can go wrong.
Absolutely. Forex and binary options, they're both risky.
Yeah.
The market's volatile, prices can change really quickly.
Right.
And no one can predict exactly what's going to happen. No one.
Right.
So if someone's promising you guaranteed returns with no risk, they're lying.
Yeah. That's just not how it works.
Not at all. It's like gambling, really. You could win big,
Yeah.
but you could also lose everything.
Okay, and speaking of risk, let's talk about leverage. It can amplify your gains, but also your losses, right?
Yeah, it's a powerful tool,
Yeah.
but it can be dangerous. High leverage might seem tempting, especially if you're starting with like a small amount of money.
Okay.
It basically lets you control bigger positions in the market. So if you're right, you can make more money.
But
if you're wrong, you can lose way more.
oh,
High leverage can wipe out your entire account just like that. So you got to understand how it works and use it carefully, especially if you're new to trading.
okay. So it's like driving a really fast car. Can be exciting, but also really dangerous if you don't know what you're doing.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't jump into a race car without any training, would you?
No, definitely not.
Same with leverage. Don't mess with it until you know what you're doing.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, this might seem obvious, but it's important to say, don't fall for those promises of easy money. If it sounds too good to be true.
It probably is.
Yeah.
The markets are complex. There are no shortcuts. You got to put in the time. You got to learn. You got to practice. Anyone promising you quick and easy riches, they're probably trying to scam you.
It's like those get-rich-quick schemes you see advertised on, like, late-night TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They prey on people's desperation, their desire for a quick fix.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap up this section with one last tip.
Okay.
Always use trusted payment methods when you're, depositing funds into a trading account. What do you mean by that?
Basically, when you're dealing with anything online, especially when it comes to your money,
Right.
got to be extra careful. Use payment methods that offer buyer protection or fraud prevention, like credit cards. A lot of credit card companies will help you get your money back if you get scammed.
Oh, okay. So it's not just about convenience. It's also about safety.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if a platform only accepts weird payment methods,
Yeah.
that's a red flag. Stick with, reputable providers, companies you trust.
Okay, wow. This has been a really, really informative deep dive. We've covered, like, so much today. How Forex and binary options trading work, how to spot the scams, how to protect yourself.
Yeah, we've really gone deep.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but like I said, knowledge is power.
Right. Now, before we wrap up completely, I wanted to talk about something else. We've focused on, like, what individuals can do to protect themselves.
Right.
But what about the bigger picture? Like, what about regulation and financial literacy? Shouldn't those play a role in preventing these scams?
I think you're hitting on a really important point.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be about individuals fighting this battle alone.
Right. It feels like we need, like, a system in place, too.
Exactly. We need like a multi-pronged approach, something that tackles the root of the problem, the systems that let these scams flourish.
Okay, so like what would that look like? What kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, stronger regulations for one, and better enforcement.
Yeah.
Giving the regulatory bodies the teeth they need
Right.
to actually go after these scammers and hold them accountable.
Yeah, make it a safer environment for everyone.
Exactly. And along with that, we need to prioritize financial literacy.
Okay, yeah.
The more people understand about how trading really works,
Mm.
the risks, the realities, the less likely they are to fall for these scams.
So it's about giving people the tools they need to make smart decisions, to
Yeah.
spot the red flags.
Exactly. Education is key.
Yeah.
A more informed public is a more resilient public.
I love that. It's like financial literacy as self-defense.
Exactly. It's like giving people a shield.
Right. And one way to strengthen that shield is like talking about it more openly.
Absolutely. Breaking the taboo around financial scams.
Yeah.
People need to feel comfortable sharing their experiences, asking for help if they need it.
I think that shame and silence just help the scammers.
Oh, 100%.
Uh,
The more we talk about it, the less power they have.
Right, right. Okay, so we've talked about regulation, we've talked about education, but what about technology? It feels like technology plays a role in all of this too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think
Yeah.
about it. Scammers are using technology to, create those fake platforms,
Right.
to make fake testimonials, to spread their message everywhere.
But couldn't we also use technology to, like, fight back?
Exactly. That's the key. We need to develop better tools to detect and prevent scams.
Okay.
We need to use tech to educate people,
Right.
to empower them to make smart choices.
So it's like a technological arms race.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine using AI, artificial intelligence, to analyze trading patterns,
Yeah.
to flag suspicious activity, or developing educational apps that make learning about investing fun and engaging.
Yeah, gamify it.
Exactly. Use tech to level the playing field.
I like that. Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, I do want to say that Forex and binary options trading, when done carefully and with a good understanding of the risks, they can be legitimate investment opportunities.
Right. It's not all bad.
Yeah.
It's just that these markets are complex.
Yeah.
And scammers take advantage of that complexity and that desire for, quick profits.
So the key takeaway here is be informed, be vigilant,
Right.
and be skeptical of anything that sounds too good to be true.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Do your research, understand the risks, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. And if something feels wrong, trust your gut.
Yeah, better safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been such a fascinating deep dive. I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too. It's been great talking about this with you.
And we hope you've learned a lot too, listeners. Remember, keep exploring, stay curious, and never stop learning. The world of finance is constantly changing, so it's up to us to stay informed.
And who knows, maybe this deep dive has sparked some more questions for you. Maybe you're wondering about, how to really evaluate brokers,
Right.
what the latest scams are, or what the future of regulation looks like in this crazy world.
If you have any questions, any topics you want us to cover, please reach out. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and as always, happy diving.
Happy diving, everyone.